So, you're dreaming about studying abroad in 2025. It's exciting, right? But it can also feel like you're standing in front of this huge world of options with a million questions. Where do you even begin? Well, let's break it down. Think of this as your roadmap to getting into that international university.
First things first, who exactly is Multani Visa? Well, their mission is pretty clear. They're here to be a certified partner for students in India. And the two words that really jump out are trusted support. That really sets the tone for everything we're about to talk about. It's all about having an expert in your corner from day one. Okay, before we get into all the logistics and paperwork, let's just start with the dream. Seriously, picture it. Is it a sprawling campus in a busy city? A quiet, historic university? A lab on the cutting edge of science? Where do you see yourself? Just kind of hold on to that picture, because now we're going to figure out how to actually make it happen.
All right, let's start turning that dream into a real plan. And the first step is just understanding how massive the opportunity really is. The numbers we're about to look at, they're not just statistics on a page. They represent thousands and thousands of different possible futures, and one of them is yours for the taking.
So get this. Over 20 countries. That's the first number to really wrap your head around. We're not just talking about the usual suspects like the UK or the US. This opens up doors to places you might not have even considered, and each one has its own vibe, its own costs, and its own unique educational strengths.
And this chart, this really shows you the incredible depth of choice. I mean, look at the UK, over 23,000 courses. Now, what does that actually mean for you? It means you can find these super specific niche programs, things like AI ethics or sustainable design, that just might not be offered anywhere else. It's about finding the perfect fit, not just a general major.
But let's be real, with tens of thousands of courses, how in the world do you even begin to choose? Well, here's the answer. Over 50 direct partnerships with universities. You can think of these like pre-approved pathways. It means way less guesswork and a much more direct line to getting that acceptance letter. And here it is, the full list. We're not going to read through every single one, of course, but you should definitely pause here if you want to explore a bit. You'll see the big names, sure, but you'll also spot places like Germany with its amazing benefits, or even the UAE. The whole point is, the world map of education is way bigger than most people think.
Okay, so we've seen the big picture. Now let's zoom in a little. We're going to put 4 of the most popular countries under the microscope and see what really makes each one stand out, especially for students coming from India.
First up, Canada. For a lot of students, the main draw here is the really clear path to permanent residency. It's not just about getting a degree, it's about the possibility of building a life there afterwards. And when you add in a high visa approval rate and a super fast 6 to 8 week processing time, you can see why it's a top choice for anyone thinking long term. And this message really gets to the heart of the Canadian process. Trying to figure out things like the SDS stream or the PR pathway on your own, it can be really complicated. The promise here is success, having a partner who just gets the Canadian system inside and out. Next, let's hop over to the UK. The headline feature here, no question, is the 2-year post-study work visa. That is a huge deal. It gives you the chance to start your career and earn back some of your investment right after you graduate. You combine that with that massive course selection we saw earlier and guidance from British Council certified experts, well, the UK becomes a serious career launchpad. And that word, confidently, is so important. That British Council verification is not just a logo on a website. It's a guarantee that the advice you're getting is up to date with the very latest UK rules and regulations. It just gives you that extra peace of mind. All right, now for Australia. Beyond the great visa success rate, the real story here is the student lifestyle. There are plenty of part-time jobs available, which really helps with living expenses. And for students who have families, the option to bring them along can make the whole journey feel so much more supportive and manageable. So for Australia, the key word is simplified. The Australian visa system has a bit of a reputation for being tricky, with lots of specific little requirements. Having an expert who can cut through all that noise for the 2025 intake can honestly be the difference between getting your visa and getting a major headache. Finally, let's talk about Germany. And this is a big one. This is the one that makes people do a double take. Free education in public universities. No, that is not a typo. You can get a top-tier education, often without any tuition fees, and a lot of the programs are taught entirely in English. Plus, you still get options to work there after you graduate. It's incredible. But you knew there had to be a but, right? The catch with Germany's amazing free education is the bureaucracy. The application process is famous for its mountains of detailed paperwork. And that's exactly why the focus here is on documentation experts. They wrestle with the complexity so you can unlock that amazing opportunity.
So, you've picked a country. Awesome. But now what? This is honestly where it can start to feel really overwhelming. So let's look at how Multani Visa takes that mountain of forms and deadlines and turns it into a simple, clear, step-by-step path forward. Here it is, their 4-step process. It all starts with finding the right university from their network. Then, they help you with the super important funding step. Step 3, mastering that visa file, is where their documentation experts are absolute rock stars. And notice, it doesn't just stop once you get your visa. They even help you get ready for departure. It's truly a complete, start-to-finish service. Now, this right here addresses a huge point of anxiety for so many students: test scores. A lot of people think that if they don't have a top score on a test like IELTS, the dream is just over. But that's just not true. They have pathways whether you've taken the test or not, which means they build the application around your actual profile. All right, we've covered the destinations, we've covered the process. What's left? Well, just taking that first step. That global future you were imagining at the beginning of all this, it's a lot closer than you might think. And really, it all comes down to this one idea: dream big, study global. The whole point is to free you up to focus on that big dream while they handle all the complicated details behind the scenes to make sure your journey is simple, totally transparent, and, of course, successful.
And this isn't some new promise. They've been guiding students on this journey since 2012. That's more than a decade of experience, which adds this really powerful layer of trust and reliability to everything we've been talking about.
So we end right back where we started. Where will your ambition take you in 2025? If you feel ready to find that answer, the next step couldn't be simpler. Just reach out with the info right here on your screen and get ready to turn that ambition into an amazing adventure.